do it? Is it worth it? Is it worth the tears? Is it worth the money for therapy? Is it worth your time? Is healing worth it? And so I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why it is. And the main reason is time. And this is the thing that a lot of people don't talk about. When people think about going to therapy, number one, most people don't want to do it. They don't want to invest the time. They don't want to invest the money. They don't trust the industry of therapists and life coaches. uh, Nobody that they know have gone to therapy. They don't want to be the first one to go, and so there's a lot of reasons why people don't go to therapy. However, I want to give you a new twist on what you get when you do go, and it's time. Time is one of the things that you may not notice that you are giving so much of when you are stuck, hurt, in your comfort zone. Somebody hurt your feelings, maybe somebody who you loved passed, maybe you were hurt as a child, maybe you're going through a divorce. It could be a whole host of things and ways and experiences that you have been hurt. So, why do it? So, one of the hurdles to healing is, where do you go? And if you find a therapist, will they accept your insurance? If they do, are they accepting new clients? There's a lot of hurdles. Even as it relates to life coaches, there's a lot of hurdles. People don't know if you're certified. Um, how are you going to be coaching them? Have you experienced success yourself? So many hurdles as it relates to healing, the things that you're doing, that you could be doing that are helping you get better. One of the main things that I see that you experience is your time. Number one, because a lot of um, people who are hurting, they spend a lot of time thinking about the hurt. They think about who hurt them, what happened, what did they do, the fact that they didn't deserve it, the fact that they hope that the person who hurt them gets hurt. You spend a lot of time thinking and replaying things that have happened in your life that hurt you. That's a lot of time. And that is time that you're not spending doing other things that you were created to do, that you want to do, because you are still thinking about this hurt that you experienced. So, an example that I usually give is, I'm 58, so I've been here a minute. But when I was younger, we used to have those boom boxes, that we would carry around. And let's say when our favorite song came on the radio, we would record it. And then if I was trying to learn the words of the song, I would play the song, write down the lyrics, and then hit rewind. I would play it and then I would hit rewind. There was a lot of time I spent hitting the rewind button, which is what you do when you are thinking about what happened, what they did. You're hitting the rewind button instead of pressing the record button. Because when you press the record button on the cassette player, you are speaking, you're singing, you're being creative in some way. That's the difference. When you are making the choice and the decision not to heal, you are continuing to hit the rewind button, which is keeping you from learning, growing, stretching, experiencing new things. And so there's this time that you are giving up, that you're giving away because you are continuing to think about what happened and who did it. So here's the other thing. When you are reviewing all of those things that they did to you that you would never have done to them, it puts you in the mind frame of being a victim because you're saying, they did this, look at what they did. I wouldn't have done this to them. I can't believe that they did it. This, that you're pointing the finger. And while pointing the finger, you are literally telling people, thinking about how somebody did you wrong and you are the victim. And when you look at yourself as a victim of your circumstances, that does not give you the um, opportunity to be courageous, to be brave, to step outside of your comfort zone, to give. When you are focused on things that are going on out there, the behavior of other people, the actions of other people, the thoughts of other people, you don't have any time to focus on what you can control, and that is you. So there's a lot of time and attention that you put in when you are focused on the behavior of other people. Now, I also want to talk about um, another thing because I don't know about you. However, in the past, what I would do when somebody hurt my feelings, when I was hurt, I would get on the phone and I would tell Sally. And then when I hung up and then I would get back on the phone and then I would call Denise and tell her the same sad story. And then I was still not satisfied and I would get on the phone and I would call somebody else. And every time I get on the phone and replay that situation that happened to me, it cements it a little bit deeper. It takes me back to that same situation of how I felt and how they hurt my feelings and how I wouldn't have done it to them. And hey, thank you for subscribing. And all of those things that are still keeping me stuck. You really have to be willing to do something new, try something new, step outside of your circle if things are going to be different. And listen, here's the thing that healing does, it opens you up to experience something new. And here's the thing, so I talk about this a lot because sometimes people are like, well, so and so, they didn't say they were sorry. They didn't apologize to me. Well, that is because they're waiting for the person who hurt them to apologize to them. And that person is waiting for the person who hurt them to. Do you see what I'm saying? And even if the person who hurt you came to you and they gave you a heartfelt, authentic, vulnerable apology, you would still have to do the work to forgive them. You would still have to be willing to let it go. And here's the thing about when we harbor um, resentment, when we don't forgive, when we're holding a grudge, really, our bodies are the ones who gets the brunt of that. Our body is the one who is holding all that tension and stress. And here's the thing about tension and stress, 9 times out of 10, you don't want to do the things that would allow your body to release the stress. You don't want to work out. You don't want to go for a walk. You don't want to drink water. You don't want to get in the sauna. You don't want to stretch. You don't want to, you don't want to take a salt bath. All of the things that could support you in releasing it from your body, you don't feel like doing it. And so, what do we feel like doing? We feel like eating chocolate. We feel like going to sleep. We feel like taking a nap. Some people eat when they're stressed. Some people don't eat when they're stressed. And so, there, you really have to be conscious and aware of what are you doing with the hurt that you are experiencing. Are you willing to let it go? And if you are not, if you're not willing to let it go mentally and emotionally, how can you let it go physically? Because you don't want to keep holding on to the hurt and the stress and the harm that you have experienced at the hands of other people, because that's going to make you feel worse. So let me give you an example. So one of the things that I always say is that it's my belief that everybody on this earth is 7 years old. Sometimes I change it to six, sometimes five, every once in a while, eight. So, what do I mean by that? I mean that we are all just trying to find our way. That, I went to CVS today, and I went through the drive-through. I was picking up a prescription, and from the moment that the young lady slid that window open, I could tell, I'm like, she having a bad day. I could tell she's having a bad day. And so um I gave her the name and the first name and the last name and all that. And she was like, "Well, it's not going to be here. We don't have it. It's on back order, and it's probably not going to be on the truck that comes Monday. So you can get it filled someplace else." This is what she said. So I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, thank you." I said, "But can you call another CVS to see if they have it? Because I'm sure, she could just type it in the system and go." She she didn't say anything to me. She just slid the door closed. And so I thought, now that felt personal to me, because I was a client, a customer at CVS, and somebody who's being paid to help me was not very helpful. It feels personal, but I know it's not personal because I don't know this young lady. I just want to get my prescription filled. Now, could I have talked to the manager and told the lady that? Yes. However, she's 7. She doesn't understand the value of customer service and how it really is better to help people than to hurt people. And so I just kind of, I was like, okay, she said no, they didn't have it or whatever. And I was like, okay, thank you. The more I know about other people, the less I take things personal, because we are all going through situations. We are all going through issues and stress, and gas is $17 a gallon, and eggs are $34 a carton. You know what I'm saying? So we're all going through something. I want to, as often as I can, and I'm not perfect, of course. Sometimes I experience something and I get upset. I file. I do that just like anybody else. However, I'm learning that I do that less and less as I give people grace. And so because if I'm holding on to that and I keep telling people, well, this lady was mean at me, this, that, and the other, I could just continue to relive it. I hold on to it. Then I might not feel like eating. I might not be able to sleep. And then that affects the next day, that um you know what I'm saying? And so you really have to just learn to, as often as you can, give people grace. And that also means giving yourself grace. When we are able to heal our hurts, we're not stuck in survival. And so, I think I can never pronounce it, but it's like Maslow's law of how, you have to meet that basic need of survival in order for people to be open to experience anything else. When you are hurt, hurting, sad, disappointed, depressed, um, if you are having any of those feelings, that means that you are not 100% yourself. That means that there may be um, your body may be holding on to stress. There's a book called The Body Keeps Score. And there's another book that I have. I don't think I have it in here. That talks about, like, if you have hip pain, what's the spiritual meaning of that? So as you are going to therapy, healing your hip, doing stretches, there may be an area in your life that you are not being willing to walk into because the hips allow you to walk. And so as you are healing the physical ailment, there may also be a spiritual or emotional or mental element that also is going to require your healing. I just wanted you to know that when you are holding on to things, it really is taking precious time away from you, time when you could be living and trying new things, growing, vacationing, um, having the love of your life, spending time with your kids, being present. Like that is one of the unknown gifts of healing. That's one of the layers under healing that you can experience when you take steps in that direction. Okay, there we go. That's some reasons for you to heal. Uh, like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you next time.